this is Skater Noob here, and I'm gonna teach you how to heel flip. This is my first flip trick, so I just recently got it, but I'm gonna tell you how to do it the way I learned it, because I looked up videos on heel flips and they didn't help me, so I asked my friends, and they told me some slightly different things. So basically, the first thing you want to do to get the heel flip is you want to be able to get ollies. So you know ollies, basically. If you don't know ollies, you're going to need to get them before you try a heel flip or a kick flip. Some people get heel flips before they get kick flips, so you might be a person who gets kick flips before heel flips, so look up kick flips first. I mean, I can't get kick flips, so. But for the foot positioning, you're going to have your front foot out here, right about, with just some of it hanging off. And your back foot's going to be on the edge. Now the thing some people like to do, some people like to slant theirs slightly. If you slant it slightly, then you need to slant your back foot as well. Or else you're going to have a couple of problems with doing that. So basically, what the back foot does is it's just popping it. And the reason you want to have it mostly off like this is because it'll let you spin it faster or more. If you have it like this, it's going to be kind of hard to spin. So you want to have it out like this so that you're able to pop it and then land it over the bolts. The front foot is basically what you'll flip it with. Now the thing about what I learned and heard from my friends is my friends told me, well, basically the first motion that you're going to have to do is slide it off like that. You're going to have to kick it off like that, basically. But what my friends told me to start out doing is kicking it forward. It works pretty well. And at first, it just, like when I started landing them, it felt like I was kicking it off forward. But then when I would record it, I was actually doing that. So it's kind of like a trick your brain, trick your feet into thinking something that you're not doing, or whatever. I don't know how to word that. But yeah, so try it when you first start kicking it forward. And since you're first starting this, put your foot closer to this side of the board. Because you want to try to get the flip first, then you want to land it. If you put your foot here and here, when you're first starting, you'll probably land it like this. So, I mean, that's good to practice landing it, but you want to first try to flip it, then try to land it. So kind of start with your feet position here and here. And you're basically going to ollie or jump off with this foot. Basically ollie, and once you're like a small fraction off the ground, then you flip. And then you try to jump up and land back on the bolts. Make sure you get your foot a lot out here because you don't want to catch it. That'll make you frustrated. So, another thing. Some people do it what I like to call like the lazy way, which is like what I said, like this. But some people do it where they jump and flip it at the same time. So it's not high off the ground, but it's like that. I don't consider that necessarily easier, at least not for me. It's easier for me to jump, then once I'm this high off the ground, flip it. But if you want to try it slanted, that's okay too. But yeah, basically. And when you're doing it while moving, you might want to start it out, you might want to reposition to the middle of the board instead of closer to the bolts on the left side. Another thing about when you're moving. When you're moving, it's kind of like the same mentality as doing an ollie and fakie. You have to push harder. So like to get the spin or the flip, you've got to push harder, because if you don't push hard enough, then you're going to land on this side, which is what I do sometimes, but I get it sometimes when I'm while moving. Basically, that's it. Oh, also, one more thing. Some people like to put their foot like this. And that's okay. It's just kind of hard to do because all this foot is hanging off. So I recommend you don't try to do this, even though you'll probably flip the board much easier. I recommend you do it this way. Start out this way. Because then it'll be cleaner and you'll have more balance. But hanging your foot off like this will make it harder to balance, and you might be able to flip it, but then when you land it, it might end up all the way back here, over there, or over there. I'm in the next few minutes or seconds of my video, I'm going to show you some heel flips that I have done. So yeah, enjoy, and I hope you get those heel flips.